Alright, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and very good morning to Madam Rita and my fellow friends. Inshallah, today we want to discuss about our finding regarding on issue mental health awareness among the students. So before we go further, please allow us to introduce ourselves first. My name is Afani Sari. My number is 1192831. And next, Yanni.
Okay, so my name is Nur Iliani and my metric number is 1192349. Next.
My name is Nurul Iza binti Samsudin, 1192368.
My name is Nurul Izzati binti Shamsir, metric number 1192376.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Nurul Hannan binti Muhammad Fuad. My matrix number is 1192379.
Next, my name is Nur Kamila Diana binti Muhammad Rafi, metric number 1192388.
Alright, thank you for the introduction from themselves. Alright, so basically, as we know, stress, mental health issue is a common issue that has been occurred especially in university students. So we want to give some brief introduction for this topic. Please, Mariza.
Okay, thank you, Afandi. But first, for this subject, I would like to introduce a little bit about citizen journalism, which is, in Malaysia, citizen journalism began to gain attention during the 13th general election conventional media that was said to have failed to provide equal news coverage to the opposition. From here, the alternative media, namely online media, plays an important role in producing citizen journalism. So what is citizen journalism? Citizen journalists are those who carry out journalism duties without formal journalism training. Citizen journalists are those who take the initiative to report and comment on the issues they are concerned about, and for that, they use the tools available on the internet. Next. Okay, but there is some unethical citizen journalists that present false news or make assumptions according to their own views without a questionnaire about the news. This situation becomes worse if it then becomes a source of quarrel, fights, or riots, and even disrupts the level of mental health among people who have been live in peace in harmony. So our group has conducted a study to test the level of mental health amongst university students in Malaysia. Next, we move to the next presenter.
Alright, thank you for the brief introduction. So next we want to discuss about the methodology that we have conduct into this survey. So the writer us are using Google Form to conduct survey, which consists of questionnaire, and this method is a common form of procedure used by the writer, as the survey form can cover wide range of field and can be easily framed. And the information related to the interviewer can be kept confidential to the questionnaire. Alright. So there are three objectives regarding on this particular issue. So the first one is we want to identify students' level knowledge about the mental health issue, especially for the student. Second is we want to identify student condition on mental health issue among the students. And lastly is we want to identify how students deal with their mental issue. Alright. So next is section A. We want to highlight about the demographic. Alright. So as you can see at this pie chart, we received about 50 respondents. 72% from them are female and 28% are from male. And the average of the student is 21 to 33 years old. Right, next. The survey received 94% from the public university, meanwhile 6% are from private university, and they are mostly 96% are single. Alright, so let's move to the section B. Section B is we want to identify the students' level knowledge about the mental health issue among the students. Right, for the question first, we are received around 36% from overall respondents. They are very agree. And next is we respondent are just agree for the statement that is depression is a mood disorder that involves persistent feeling of sadness and lost interest at 56%. So next, changes in mood, erratic thinking, chronic anxiety, and so on are emotional symptoms of mental health problems. They are literal, 32%. And next, we can conclude that weight loss and fatigue are physical symptoms. Around 44% are very agree. Next, around 30%, 50%, half of the respondents are very agree that mental health could happen to anyone. Right. After that, respondents almost agree that excessive use of gadget can cause and affect the person's mental health problem. Next is doom scrolling or doom surfing have become a new term for those who are constantly looking for bad news. Students are very agree, around 34%. And next is someone who suffers from social media anxiety disorder will have anxiety of always looking at his account, always looking at account at all times, around 36%. Right. So next is mental illness is not significant. Students are very disagree for this statement. And lastly is we can see half of the respondents at 50% are also very disagree that mental health is a shameful thing. Alright, so to conclude this, I want to say that mostly university students have many general knowledge about this mental health issue. Generally, they have gained from their experience and they are reading on the social media. And students also having in changes mood and erratic thinking when they're having a little mental health problem. And lastly, in a nutshell, students need to decrease their gadget time and spend more with their family in order to increase their bonding time and remove their stress. So that's all from me. Thank you. I will pass to the next presenter.
Next, for section C, to identify students' conditions on mental health issues among the students. Next. For the first question, I have a hard time controlling my anger. So as we can see, mostly more half students choose 17. More half students, which is 17 of students, choose neutral. Next, I tend to overreact in certain situations. This also shows that 21 students choose neutral. Next, I'm not passionate about anything I do. 80 students choose neutral. Then, I felt particularly low or down when I see other people's happiness on social media. There are 17 students choose neutral. Next, I had a difficulty in online learning during the pandemic. There are around 19 students that choose neutral. Next, I have a problem with my family or friends or in a romantic relationship. As you can see, there are 50 students that choose very disagree. Next, I have a problem with my financial. There are around 16 students that choose neutral. And lastly, I have a hard time controlling my anger. There are around 70 students that choose neutral. So in conclusion, the students' choice in 8 questions for the second objective show a neutral average. More than half of the 50 students were in a state of healthy mental health during this pandemic season. Next, I will pass to the next presenter.
Okay, so moving on to the next slide is section D, which is about the third objective, which is to identify how students deal with mental health issues. So in this section, we have provided 4 questions. The first question is, I know how to deal with mental health issues. So there is a total of 41 respondents who have answered yes and 9 respondents who have answered no. Next question is, I will seek counseling through my best friends with my best friend or through a person I trust to express my problem. There are 42 respondents who have answered yes in this question and 8 respondents who have answered no. The third question is, I limit the use of gadgets to maintain my mental health. So there's a total of 44 respondents, which is the highest number, and 6 respondents who have answered no. Last but not least, the last question is, I consume nutritious foods for a good mind and body. The total of respondents who have answered yes is 41 and who have answered no is 9. So as you can see through this table, through this section, the majority of university students does know how to handle with mental health problems. But there are some students who aren't willingly to open up or fully open up to ways or solutions to prevent continuous mental health problems. So through this table, we can also see that the majority of students, majority of university students prefer to limit the use of gadgets to maintain their mental health. So moving on to the next slide. So there are other examples to deal with mental health problems. So number one is to use social media to find motivational information or content that are entertaining and inspirational. So the next is being active, to keep active. So you have to exercise, do house chores, yoga, or anything that can help you to move your nerve system, that can make your mind, your body healthier. And that's all from me. Thank you very much. Moving on to the next presenter.
Okay, the next, the conclusion, not at all mental problems are identical to the insane term. The fundamental of mental system need to know from society. Extreme anxiety, sadness, and mental stress are problem anxiety, but they are not insane. In every phase of human existence, mental health is an important element, such as physical health. Both positive and poor characteristics are observed in a mental health. A person who has a mental health difficulty requires support from others to overcome the problem he faces. Stress can therefore have a negative influence on the health levels, on the personality, social interaction, and on academic success of a student everyday life and interaction. Next.
Next is
Mike, next.
Next is lesson from mental health issue. Physical and mental health must be addressed carefully to ensure an individual's ability to think, act, and behave responsibly. Second, a person might develop mental illness if their condition is out of control, caused by unresolved lightning stress. The pressure of problems that cannot be solved leads to a person functioning at a semi-normal level. We need to care about mental health in order to think and act well. If mental health are not handled at an early level, a person may develop mental disorders. Long-term stress can cause a person to act unexpectedly, which can endanger them, such as suicide. Next. Next is the solution. There are 3 suggestions that can be used to curb mental health problems among students. First is the role of higher education institution. The university can provide food aid to students who are on campus and rented house. In addition, provide online counseling services to assist students in managing their emotion. Second, family members needs to play a role. This is because individuals dealing with this issue require encouragement and motivation from those closest to them. They must be alert to the symptom that the student is experiencing, such as feeling sad and extreme mood changes. Lastly, express feelings in the right place. Someone who is dealing with a mental health condition should tell someone they trust about their difficulty. Students may develop answers based on given concepts and control themselves from doing things they shouldn't. That's all from me. Thank you. Next to the next presenter.
The last, among the role of citizen journalism in a mental health issue among students. Citizen journalism can be an intermediate way to spread awareness to the community about the importance of knowing about mental health. This is because there may be a family, a job and does not take it serious. In addition, citizen journalism also report on news related to mental health issues that occur around them, as well as lead to the spread of the news, and the news will reach the relevant parties. Thank you. That's all from us.